We're here with Mississippi College head coach John Bland as we look ahead to this weekend's matchup with Delta State. But Coach, first of all, let's look back to the West Alabama game last week. You know, it was kind of a grinded out game early on. That opening drive that West Alabama had took over 8 minutes. They didn't score any points. Then the Choctaws got points on the board with a similar drive, and it really kind of looked like that was the kind of game we were in for the rest of the afternoon, where it was just going to be a grinded out kind of football game.
You bet. And it kind of ended up that way. They just got in the end zone a few times, and we didn't. You know, the first two drives, like you said, the first quarter was over when we scored those 3 points. We got 3 and went up 3-0. That was, we were into the second quarter, and we both had the ball one time. I got there, and I thought to myself, later on in the second quarter, I believe they had the ball twice, and we had it twice, and they had it about the time was going to run out, and I thought, we're going to have the ball 2 times in the first half, which we're used to that, but the other teams aren't. And I think they were kind of had the same philosophy we did, although they can score quick too. I thought our defense did a really good job, though, making them go the long, hard way, and you know, kept the game close. And I think that's, you know, it proved that we were both. It was a good matchup. It was a good matchup, but we just didn't get in the end zone enough.
Yeah, that defensive play, season low, 294 yards, and the secondary had one of their best games of the season against a really good passing game. Not only a good quarterback, but they had probably the best tight end we'll see all year, a big physical receiver that caused the Choctaws a little bit of problem.
You bet. I believe he's definitely an all-conference type player, but also maybe even an all-American caliber player, really big and tall and a good target for him. Quarterback last year, I want to say he was one of the best, if not all-conference as well. They had won the league with him last year at QB. So they did have a really good offensive attack. Our defense did a great job defending and making them go the long, hard way. Again, we gave them a couple of turnovers and gave them the short field, which was not fair to the score there. It wasn't really exactly how the game went. I believe it was closer than what the actual score was at the end of the game.
And the Choctaws continue to get some pressure defensively. Fred Walls had another really good game with a hot start, and then Colton McGee came on strong for you too. So these guys are really timing their pressure very, very well. That's been a big part of the Choctaws' success this year.
You bet. You know, Fred's just moved to defensive end. He was a linebacker, and we know he's a very talented young man, but he's big, he's strong, and he was able to transition to that defensive end spot, and it's proven to be a really good move because he is able to fight off these big old offensive linemen that these guys in the GSC have and get to the quarterback and making a difference for us on defense as putting pressure on our D. Also helps our defensive backs. Defensive backs can cover. We're really quick and physical, but also can cover really well, but it always helps when you put pressure on that quarterback. It makes those defensive backs look even better.
Well, they turned out to Delta State. They've only won one game this year. That's quite unusual for them. They're 1-8. They had an 11-point lead on West Georgia last week before losing that football game. So we know there's some talent there. They've had some injuries, but they're going to be ready to go for this Saturday, no doubt about it.
They will, and it's a big rivalry. And to make it a great rivalry, we got to compete, you know. And it's years ago. That's when the rivalry was made, and because we're both in state here and we're 2 hours away, but. The good thing is the bad thing is they have been very competitive. We see that just like we have, and we know how close we are, and we get tired of talking about that. Delta State was in the playoffs last year. They know that they've been real close this year. They've been close with a lot of teams. I think they lost by 3 to West Alabama. We know how talented they are. They were right there with West Georgia. They had a bad second half, didn't finish. Several things. They're talented enough. They're just as good as we are. We're going to have to compete and play our best. And that's what we're looking to do in our last game versus Delta State.
I think that is one of the similarities between these two teams this year is each team could look back and say, hey, we had chances to win many more games than we put wins on the board. And I think maybe there's a mutual expectation between these two teams that each team has a real chance to come away a winner on Saturday.
That's right. And the only one I'm concerned about is us. But Delta State I could care less about. They need to lose one more. That's our goal, and that's what our players' goal is. But yes, they're going to be hungry to get a victory just like we will. Hopefully our team plays our best, and really the team that makes plays the hardest. And I know they'll both play hard. The ones who makes the fewest mistakes will win the football game, and I think that's what's going to make a difference for us.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that difference-making part of the football game. I do think it is who makes the fewest mistakes, and so what's been the communication to the Choctaws this week about making sure you hang on to the football, make good decisions in the passing game?
Well, I believe this. I always have. It's just about practice. You know, everybody's been coached. Players take what they learn in practice and how they practice, the energy they take to practice. You know what, if you want to play well, if you really want to play perfect, what's that we're looking for? You need to practice that way. It's hard to flip that switch and go through the motions in practice. It's hard to go through and I know there's different weather scenarios. You just got out of class. It's not easy for college students. Student athletes, they come out there to practice, and not everybody, there's a lot of guys that go to class at 6 o'clock at night, so people are leaving early. It's difficult to put together a practice session, you know, at college because of all the other things that go on. Well, to put that together for game day, you have to utilize your time, and that little amount of time, you know, the NCAA allows 20 hours a week. Well, we got to make use of that time because there's only 3 that matter. It seems to matter at least, and that's on game day. So what we like to do is just have perfect practice, and we did this week. We felt real good about our energy, felt real good about our players, not just concerned to win, but they want to finish strong too. And it showed in practice. Hopefully it pays off in the ball game.
Hopefully the Choctaws get a win and end this 2018 season with a victory over Delta State. I think anybody who's followed the Choctaws this year can see this program has made a big step forward in the progression from Division III to Division II to now every week everybody expects the Choctaws to be in it, and I think that's something to be proud of this season.
It is, and you know, as a coach it is for sure. I can see that. You know, our players obviously want to win, and I do too. Nobody wants to win more than the team in the program, but we know that that is the case. I think everybody we play, we're not going to sneak up on anybody right now. That's the bad thing for us. We don't want to sneak up on them, but they know that we're a contender. We can win every game we play. And so even the best people in our league and the best in the country know that when they come to play Mississippi College, they better bring their A game. And it showed that on the field. And we just need to get where we can finish those ball games, win those close ones. When we start strong, finish strong. And I think that's what we're going to do this Saturday.
Well, we know Delta State will bring their A game. We're looking forward to the Choctaws doing the same. Coach, as always, thanks for your time. All season long, thanks for your time. We wish you good luck in the game.
Thank you, Reed.